changing airline. Hey guys, thanks everybody for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Everybody got a quiet crowd tonight?
No.
No? Are there any screamers in here?
Oh, it's kind of personal.
Look out.
You'll be on that and I'll over here. I got my phone next to me.
Okay. Thanks everybody for coming to the Gratwick News Lodge to watch the Perfect House. We've returned to the Perfect House, everybody. We've done 7,000 miles from Hollywood to get here in a 1973 Dodge Sportsman camper. So what I'm saying is we shouldn't even be here tonight. But we did, and we survived a lot of perils to do so. But that's just reflective of the journey we've all taken to get this movie to be the first one on Facebook tonight. There's a lot of people in here that have helped us, and I'm just going to say a big thank you to everyone, because we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for you folks. I'm not going to name names. So anyway, I'm Will. I acted in it, and I helped out with some stuff to get it made. But I'm going to bring up the people that forced it through the square hole, even though it was round. Let's get our beautiful actress and producer up here, Andrea Vahl.
Taking a break on your drinks right now. I know that was a big decision for us. Very big decision, and I'm sure we'll have more people coming up in a little bit. Yeah, Will was the reason why, just so everyone knows. We had the signs put up. He carried his drink up earlier, got us all in trouble. So as we all take breaks to go back downstairs, remember it's Will's fault. There we go. Yes. Got it.
And oh yeah, the guy who wrote it and co-directed it. Here's Kris.
Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing this night with us. It's been 3 years in the making, and each day I thought was the end, and we're finally found it, I think. The end of post-production, I think, is where we found. But thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It's literally been a total team effort from start to finish, and everybody's played their role and played their part, and we've found great friends and great family at every step of the way. And there's a lot of people that have worked their asses off to get here, and it's really overwhelming to think about. Thank you guys.
Show in Colorado that we did. Except it's not dance music. It's not beat. It's not playing through the walls. It's Metallica. So, you guys ready to watch?
Yeah.
Ready. All right. At midnight tonight, it's going to be the first movie ever premiere on Facebook. The tab will go live. If any of your friends ask how to see the film or how to watch it, there'll be a little tab right underneath, the movie page that says "Watch It Now." You just click on there, and you get to share it with your friends, and then you can watch it directly. The movie's going to wrap up about 11 o'clock. We'll do a little Q&A and kind of count down to midnight. And we're just going to stay till midnight when it goes live and kind of celebrate it together. So hopefully you all stick around and be a part of it.
The part during the screening where on the tour we opened it up with questions from the audience. So if anyone has a question, now's the time. Go ahead, Alex.
What do you mean all that mess? How did you clean it up?
With a mop.
What did you use to make it? You're the guy in the film.
I mean, you're getting one. What did you use for the blood? I think we had like 5 different types of blood that they made. There was like runny blood, thick blood, spray blood, blood juice. Yeah, brown blood. It looked real.
I've had some of that thick blood on me, and I'll tell you what. The turn I was in a movie a couple of years ago, and actually I didn't even bother trying to launder the shirt or anything. I just cut it off. It wasn't even worth it.
Yeah. The hardest thing was keeping track of all the blood splatter and where it was supposed to go and where it was coming from. And within an hour every day on set, even when you weren't on camera, you had blood all over you and sticking to stuff. And next one we'll have a crime scene investigator on there giving us tips on where to put the blood.
Now when you cut out his eyes, I'm sorry, you cut out his eyes, how the heck did you do that? Was his eyes really closed or was it a model head?
No, it wasn't a model head. He had prosthetics on. So pretty much the day that he was doing it, we did a shot beforehand where it was him and they kind of pretended they were doing it. And then the day that we were going to do the actual up close and show the goriness of it all, the actor had to be in prosthetics for about 4 hours beforehand, and especially since it was so hot, the glue did not want to stay, so it took even longer than it should have to set, and the eyes kept kind of shifting a little bit, which was a lot of fun for him because he had a tiny little pinhole to see through, and the whole time he had to go like this, and checking his phone or be led by everyone around him, bumping into everything.
It's not 4 days, about 14 hours a day, and those things.
He was bumping into.
That was the hardest part for me to watch.
After tomorrow, we can finally release those. We've had a ton of pictures that we've, because the eyes are one of the best effects in there, that we haven't promoted that a lot. But now that it's going to be open to the public in about an hour, we have a ton of behind-the-scenes pictures and stuff. We've been trying to read newspapers and check cell phones and all sorts of stuff like that that we can finally put out.
Are the DVDs set to go?
No. Right now, the Facebook's going to be the first rollout. What we are doing is taking pre-sales for collector's DVDs that will be individually numbered, and it's going to include a bonus disc that's going to have all the footage for the past 3 years, all the behind-the-scenes stuff done as kind of a documentary. One of the other things that we're including with it is each one will have an autographed 8x10 with it of the headshots that we've been taking around the country. So the head that's around somewhere, we've got like over 500 pictures with the head from the Grand Canyon to Bourbon Street, Northwest, to the Moose Lodge in North Tonawanda, and each one of those, it'll be like a draft. The sooner you order your DVD, the higher your selection on which picture you get.
That's cool. Anybody else have a question?
How hard was it to get the blood off the camera?
Cameraman was very particular about his camera, so I didn't have much blood on it.
Make something special, and really, as another one of the people that we're going to hold on to for everything we do. And they become more friends than partners and anything else, and we've all just kind of been in this together and rooting for each other. And Frederick's just a long list of success stories on Craigslist.
Between the graphics and the sound and everything, man, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's a top-notch production, top to bottom. And I was wondering, maybe because the time and care that was taken, or the budget you had, what do you attribute it to?
The biggest thing we saved on was labor, because most of us did this for free. Most of us took less than we would normally do because everybody wanted to be a part of one opportunity to make something on our own. A lot of the people that we had doing grip and camera and things like that, they're not normally head of departments for films and things like that. They're learning like we were. And we all took it together, and it's just everyone's seizing the opportunity.
Were you expecting that quality?
No. I'm telling you, really, I wasn't.
That's one of the common stories that we get.
Our most common compliment is, "Oh my God, it was a real movie."
It sounds like you were very directed in your, what your priorities and whatnot. Production value is key. I've got a friend who's a filmmaker, and I was at one of his premieres, and the sound was terrible, and the lighting was changing,
we had a good sound,
and stuff
man.
like that. It's just, but the sound can be a nightmare.
The biggest inspiration for this film and the quality.
Less.
Oh yeah. We spent 12 hours in that bathroom.
In 90-degree weather.
Yeah, with another 10 or 15 people all stashed up on the second floor there in the side rooms that had to do all their stuff. And we had to keep the windows closed because it was the middle of summer and the sounds, everything up there. So it got up to probably about 115, 120 up there, and that was by far the worst day I've set. I think every single person had a flare up of the temper that day.
I did, and I stayed in the truck.
Yeah. All the opportunities, and some of the opportunities that came our way were from two very large distribution companies, but they didn't want us or the film to come with it. They just wanted the film. And they made all sorts of promises about what could happen in the future and things like that, but they didn't want to help take care of our friends and family that put all their money up to fund the film. And we were at least looking to pay back the people that got involved before anything else happened. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to promise maybe down the road someday they'll get something back. So we wanted to look for other avenues and work with them. Like, okay, we'll do the DVD distribution that way, but we want to do it this way. And then when it quickly became obvious that we were going to have the opportunity to work with Facebook and do this first release thing ever, we went back to the companies that wanted the DVD rights and stuff, and we're like, listen, we'll give you the DVD rights, but we'd like to keep the online rights and for ourselves and for the investors so we can generate an immediate stream for them. They wanted no part of that. They didn't like it. They didn't want anything to do with it. So they wouldn't work with us, and we were willing to share and all this and that, and they forced us down our own road. So now we've gone and done it. We've gone across the country. We've promoted ourselves. We've got the Facebook deal ourselves. And now the Facebook success will dictate the terms for the DVD deals and the things that follow. If the fans like it and everybody loves it, well, then we won, and now they got to come back to the bargaining table and pick our price instead of just putting us over the barrel.
Good. I like that.
And if it works, it'll open up a lot of opportunities and doors for a lot of other independent filmmakers to at least have a chip in their pocket when they come to negotiate.
Any plans for any future films or even a sequel?
Ideally, we got the next 10 to 20 years already mapped out, and hoping a lot of it goes through Facebook. The second, third, and a spin-off story are already written and ready to go. Our plan is, if the success and all that happens, to shoot them subsequently all in a row on the same set, because they all take...
I was actually wondering, with that first story, at the end you went from the black and white to the color as she was going out. Was that supposed to represent, like, just her escaping back into like a normal life?
It was more just a symbolism of a new day, a new beginning, just kind of going out into the bright lights, and more of just a creative decision that we thought it looked cool to start the next day in color.
Should be Philbin.
That's the reason that the flashbacks are in color too, because usually a lot of times you'll see, like, if a movie's in color, when they do flashbacks, the flashbacks will be in black and white. So we're doing most of that story in black and white, so we thought it'd be cool if we tossed the flashbacks in color. Just trying different things.
It looked pretty cool though.
It was great. I got another question on people say, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? What do you, just the opposite, 10 years ago, where we are today? What do you think 10 years ago that you are here today?
10 years ago, I was rotting away in the collection agencies and pretty much gave up. Just got sucked into a life that was too easy and made good money at really not trying hard. And now I look back on so many different things, and they just made it all come together, and they're all different talents and skills that have all accumulated and drawn from this. Like me and Will have this talk all the time. There's so many things that we look back on now that either just sucked or were shitty or just didn't go right, and just brought we look now that if we didn't have those skills or
we wouldn't
experiences, I would have quit a long time ago if I had any idea how.
Where were you 10 years ago?
I was in a factory or working for the Amish, putting up steel buildings or something.
He was the one guy who was allowed to run the stuff with the Amish?
Yeah. I had a driver's license.
You got
You got to use the phone. It's always handy.
You got this Will guy to turn the light switches on. Andrea, if you're going to ask everybody else.
I was in college for theater and film 10 years ago, so this was actually my plan. It was more acting, but I got a little bit of the acting, a whole lot more of the responsibility bossy side, which, slowly now that the film is released, I can stop being a big boss and actually get to enjoy the work instead and not have to worry. Yes, as Kris calls the rule sheriff. Because sometimes the rules are important. Everyone needs to remember that. Yeah, so we at least have one of us who knew this was something they were going to do, and the other two came into it a little bit sooner.
I always wanted to tell stories. I just didn't know I needed to do it all myself to get there. As in, like, make it and go and that.
Wasn't that what collections is all about? It's just reeling the line of BS to get somebody to pay?
That's where I learned to get money from. Yeah, collections was an experience, and I've got so many stories that and somebody says I draw from too much on some of the writing in that, but I've got a whole series about my years in the collection agency and the Buffalo collection industry that I'd love to get going. Nobody has any idea what the people on the other side of the phone's backgrounds really are. You don't want them to have your information, but they do.
Another story to tell.
What that?
Another story to tell.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a whole TV series. There's plenty of stories to tell there. Did we have a time check?
It's 11:20.
11:20. Any other questions before we lubricate before midnight? Are y'all gonna?
No, go ahead.
First, Will.
Okay. Are y'all actually gonna try and set your computer up so you can actually play it right at midnight, or?
Oh, well, we all just watched it. We're gonna check and make sure the tab got up live, and then sit back and watch and see who else watches it.
Yeah,
but,
we've been having our Facebook people updating us pretty much every half hour, letting us know everything's still good, not to worry. So if you've seen us on our phones, it's pretty much us just going.
11:59 will be getting refreshed to see make sure the tab shows up.
So, what's the time frame of you can watch this movie like at midnight starts? How long can it go till?
It's going to be on Facebook for eternity.
But when you rent it, you get it for 7 days straight. So
cool.
You don't have to watch it all right away. You can pause it, come back to it later. You can go back a little bit if you forgot some. It will work no matter what. And as long as you're in your account, you can watch it on another computer, all that stuff. It isn't just by one computer that you're at. It's your account that you paid for 7 days.
So the eastern part of the world sees it now, but LA.
Actually, LA is going to be at the same time. So when it starts midnight here, they don't know it on the other coast, but they can get it at 9 o'clock. We're just telling them, guess what? It's midnight.
It's going to be a full stream?
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
And the people watching the live stream radio.
It's going to be actually on the cloud, so it'll play smoother and faster. You don't have to wait for it to buffer and all the other stuff. It'll be nice, smooth transitions.
You say on a cloud?
Yeah, the cloud network is what the internet's moving to and all that. I don't know the schematics of this, but they tell me it's better.
I just wanted to say that, like, it wasn't actually a question, but I just love the attention to detail. Like in the beginning, when they go into the dining room and.
I took it as a joke for the guy that was crazed.
Yeah, there's just a lot of little things like that we just thought would be visually cool and interesting that kind of came about. That was one of them. Like way back before we ever really got into Buffalo and all that stuff. Well, the person that was going to do the set design, she's like, "Do you want any like miniature dinosaurs or anything?" So I get miniature dinosaurs for her. And then after she said it, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I could probably use that right there. It'd be cool. And then the smiley face light that came up the night before. We were rehashing some of the stuff that went on the day before in my mom's garage. And over in a box there was the smiley face light. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I know the perfect spot for this guy. And that just came about that night.
I thought that was great. I thought it was ironic that you have a smiley face at the worst time of these people's torture life. Yeah, it was cool.
The street lights, that came about because we were cleaning out the basement to get ready to shoot down there, and there was a big street light just sitting there. Or we could put that somewhere.
Did you ever get your grandfather's house put back to normal?
That's my mom and my uncle.
Grandpa will say there are things that are still left, whatever, but as the family attests, there were things that were there way before we were. But he made sure we did not leave the house until everybody, pretty much all the cast and crew left in town, picked up at least a broom or helped, sweep up everything and repaint the basement and stairs.
There's still a few spots down there that we can show people.
Uncle Dave told us to leave a couple, so there's ones Grandpa can't see.
We're going to go autograph those.
I wanted to ask you, who made the cases and what were the cases designed for?
They were designed specifically for
Premiere on Facebook.
Yeah, buddy.
So we are more than happy to share that with you guys tonight. And thank you for being a part